All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Arc Pointers. Today, I just wanted to go over quickly some resources that players, I think all players should be aware of. Especially if you're new to the game, these resources could really help you out. And right, I'm not talking about in-game resources like wood and hide and metal, right? I'm talking about things that you can use to make the game easier for yourself. So these are just a couple websites I use. The first one I want to talk about is Dododex. All right, so if you go to dododex.com, right, you can get access to an infinite well of ARC information. So let's just start from the top here. We have ARC creatures, right? So if you go all creatures here, you can see every single creature in the game, and it will sort them for you. New creatures, flying creatures, swimming creatures, land creatures. Another thing that you can do is also sort them by the map. So island, center, scorch, so on and so forth. You can sort them by rideables. You can sort them by carnivores and herbivores. All sorts of different filters for you. So for this video, let's go to the island and let's just look at a very common early tame for new players, the raptor, right? So once you go to a dinosaur's page like the raptor here, going from the top, you can change the dinosaur's level, and then you can input your taming speed here and your dino food drain. So that way the numbers that you'll see on this page will be accurate. So let's just leave everything at base for now. Leave it at 150. So as you can see, if you're on a 1x taming speed and you have regular food drain and you're at a max level raptor of 150, you're going to need 7 kibble, or you're going to need 14 raw mutton, or 17 raw prime meat, so on and so forth. You can show all the taming foods here. When you look at all these foods, you can also see the effectiveness you'll get, what level it'll come out at. You can see how long it will take. And for ARC veterans who know about the sanguine elixir, you can add this as well. Another thing you can do is say you only have 3 kibble. You can come in here and then change the mutton amount, and boom, there you go. You get a little notification down here, not enough food, and as you pile on more food, it will tell you if you have enough to tame. So you can do this tame with 3 kibble and 8 raw mutton if you'd like. Other little details it will show you is how long it will take to be hungry enough to eat all the food. So 9 minutes 57 seconds. There's a starve timer. Right here is the base level. Here's the levels it'll get, the taming efficiency, and what level it'll be after. And then this is the max level if you fully raise it. If your dino is going to wake up during the taming process, so let's use cooked fish meat, the worst possible thing, right? Then all the numbers will adjust. Taming efficiency got adjusted, level with bonus, so on and so forth. And look at this. It says that if you're going to use 255 cooked fish meat, that you are going to need 32 narcotics or 143 narco berries, these mushrooms, or 16 biotoxin to keep the dinosaur under so you can tame it. So this is just super useful for taming. Going further down, we also have knockout, and in here you can put custom damage percentages. So let's say you have a crossbow and you have a ramshackle crossbow, right? You got from a blueprint, and it does 145.6 damage, right? From that, these numbers will adjust. You can see that it will take 8 crossbow arrows, trank arrows from a crossbow to knock it out. And if you hit it in the head, it does more damage and more torpor, and you can knock it out in 3 shots. So obviously these are all base at 100, but you can adjust it to meet your needs. You can also change the seconds between hits. So the crossbow takes a couple of seconds to reload, but let's say somehow magically it's only 1 second between hits. See, the numbers have changed here. It's 12 and 4. If you jump up the timer all the way up to, let's say, 15 seconds, the numbers have changed. It's going to take more because the torpor is going to start to go down. Another important feature of the page for a specific dinosaur is the stats section. It will tell you its base stats at level 1. So this is what all level 1 wild raptors will have for their base stats at level 1, and then every time it gets a level up from being in the wild, so like let's say it's a level 5, so that means it has 4 level ups that are randomly distributed, and let's say it gets all 4 of those in health, then it'll get 40 per level up. Let's say it's level 5, so that's 4 level ups. It'd be 160 health higher, which means add that to the base. A level 5 raptor with 4 level ups in health would be 360 health. One of my favorite features about Dododex is coming down here and going stat calculator. This takes you to a different page. What you can do is you can put in your wild dino level here, and this is very important. This only works with wild dinos. But you can put a wild dino here, and you can add points or take away points to see. You can add points or take away points from every stat to see how well distributed your stats are. So for those who don't know, a wild dino, let's say it's like a level 100, all 99 levels it got from 1 to 100 are randomly distributed. And so sometimes you'll get a dino with very high health, sometimes you'll get one with very low health and more points in, let's say, food instead, right? And so not all level 100 raptors are the same, not all created equal. So you can see here, if you look at the stats of the raptor that you're thinking about knocking out and taming in the game, if you look at it with the magnifying glass or with a mod like Awesome Spyglass, you can see how these points are distributed, and you can see how lucky you got, right? So let's say you want a raptor with very high melee. If we jump up in points here, it will tell you right here that it is average so far. But as you hit a certain threshold, 28 points, it will tell you that this raptor has high melee for its level. And if you jump up even more, you're going to hit another threshold of very high, 34 points. So if it's a level 150 wild and you see it has 34 points already put at melee, you know, if you tame this, that it has a very good chance of coming out with like maybe 40 points in melee, and it's going to be great. It's going to have a great base melee stat. So let's say you actually want to tame this raptor, and you're pretty new to the game, you don't know anything about kibble, right? So let's say, okay, I need simple kibble. How do I make simple kibble? If you just come down the page on the raptor and click on simple kibble right here, it tells you you need small eggs, and these are the dinos that provide those eggs. And then it gives you the exact recipe right here. And then it tells you all the other dinos that prefer this kibble. So essentially on a dino's page, it gives you all the information you need on how to tame it, how long it's going to take, how many arrows, if it's going to wake up or not, everything you need is on here. One other important thing I want to note is if you go to the tips page, right, you can see people's comments. And if you go there, they are sorted by categories like taming and encountering and utility. I like going to things like utility, and a lot of these comments are great ideas of how people use the raptor, right? What utility can the raptor bring? And I've learned a lot just by reading comments from other players about how to use certain dinos or tips on how to knock it out. Different things like that. All right, going back to the main page, well, let's see here. If you want a recipe list for all the kibbles, you can click on it right here. You can also, let's say you click on kibble, you can also look at consumables too. Say you want to learn how to make Callian soup. Here's the recipe right here and exactly what it does, how long it lasts, how long it takes to spoil. All the recipes are here. Say you want to respec and you don't know how to do it. Here are all the ingredients you need to make a respec potion and how long until it spoils. The last thing I want to point out here on Dododex is that you can search specific resources. So let's say you're trying to get cementing paste. Cementing paste is kind of a pain in the butt to craft, right? You need to collect tons of chitin and stone, and you have to wait on it. With a chem bench, it's not that bad because you get 50% more and it crafts super quickly. But in the early game, right, let's say I need cementing paste to make a fabricator, right? You can click on cementing paste, and it tells you the best gatherers for cementing paste. So it tells you right here that the frog, right? The frog is a great gatherer of cementing paste. And the way he does that is by using his tongue attack on any of these bugs. Any of these bugs, if you kill them with the frog's tongue attack, you'll get literally like It depends on your harvest settings, but you can get dozens to hundreds of cementing paste from these bugs by killing them with the frog. Acatinas will make a cementing paste substitute called Acatina paste, but it's the exact same thing, and it's created passively as long as you have these tamed and fed. So these are the two best sources of cementing paste. Let's say you want to look up who are the best wood gatherers. Well, the chainsaw the community agrees the chainsaw is probably the best way to get it. But the Castaroides, the beaver, right, is a great way. You can just use a hatchet. Therazinos are very good. Text writers, roll rats, so on and so forth. So looking up any specific resource, you can see what some of the best rated dinos and tools are to get that resource. One quick thing I wanted to mention that I forgot about is Dododex has an app for Google Play and for the App Store, and it is fantastic. It is all this stuff except in your pocket, and when you are taming a dinosaur and you put in your specific taming speed and you put in your specific damage on like your weapons, then it will save that in your phone. So you don't, every time you come to look how to tame a dino, you don't have to adjust your personal settings. It will save them for you. So I highly encourage the app. It is free. There is a paid version, and all it does is get rid of advertisements. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it is a fantastic app. I highly recommend it if you play Ark a lot. The next website I want to go over is this Ark fandom website, a version of the wiki. I think there's another wiki out there, but I like this version more. And the first thing I want to show you guys is just resource maps. So this is the map I'm currently playing on, but you can look up the resource map for any of the maps you play on, like the island, or if you're playing the newest map, Fjord or whatever. So the map is pretty straightforward, right? It shows you all the resources in the game. It even shows you the obelisk, and it shows you exactly where it all is. So you can turn off everything so the map isn't so cluttered. And let's say we are looking for obsidian. Boom, there you go. You get all these different little spots where obsidian is located. Let me zoom in for you guys. So you get all these spots where obsidian is located, right, on the map. And when you hover over it, you get the exact coordinates of where the obsidian node is. This works with other things, metal deposits, right? And it also distinguishes between metal and rich metal, which gives you more bang for your buck. Obviously, you can turn everything on and off. You can look at specific things. You can look at oil rocks, or you can look at oil veins. All of this is super useful to know. Let's say you are new to the map and you don't know where all the metal is on the map. Well, you can just click on this, and you can click on the rich metal, and boom, here's all your metal deposits. Clearly, there are a ton right here. There's a cluster here. There's a huge cluster up here. Basically, the whole tundra is full of metal. The redwood, this big mountain has some. Essentially, if you're looking for metal, you probably don't want to live far away from it. So you don't want to live like maybe right here, or maybe down here in the corner might be a little bit far. Maybe here's a little bit of a dead zone where there's not a lot of big clusters of metal close by. But if you're big into metal and you need tons of it, maybe you live right here because there's tons right here. Or maybe you just live right here in the middle of the metal, right? So if you don't like going far from metal, you can look up the resource map, look at where it all is, and then pick your base from there. All right, so that is the resource map. The last thing I want to look at is from the same website, but it is boss requirements. And this is just an example to show you that there is a ton of information on this website. It's not just resource maps and boss information, but I just want to give you another example from the site of a tool that I use all the time. So I keep this page for whatever map I'm going through in single player. I always keep like this page bookmarked for the boss requirements because I can never remember. So I want to fight this boss in the Forsaken Oasis, and I want to fight it on Alpha, right? So I need to know, okay, I need to be level 100. I need to have 15 Allosaur brains, 15 Argentavis I need to have 15 Argentavis talons, and I need to have these set of artifacts, right? So this just helps me as I'm playing through the story to know which artifacts I need, what dinos I need to be saving their drops from. Like every time I kill a Sarco, I need to save its skin so I don't have to go hunting for it later. This is just very useful to plan ahead to prepare for like boss fights. And that is everything I wanted to show you guys. Just some external resources that you guys can use to make playing Ark a lot easier, a lot simpler. Obviously, the last thing is just other YouTube videos. You have videos from Syntac, Ross Clark, Nooblit, Terrifier. There are so many great Ark YouTubers out there creating great content. A lot of guides, a lot of playthroughs, different things like that. So if you guys find this guide useful at all, you end up using Dododex, end up downloading it, please leave a like on the video and comment below if there's anything I can improve or if there's another Ark guide you want me to cover in the future. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.